Hey everyone, Boardgame Brody here with Meeple Mountain. I was sent a brand new copy of Tiny Towns Fortune by AEG, the new expansion to the very popular and amazing game Tiny Towns. In Tiny Towns Fortune, the forest creatures have discovered a way to trick each other into thinking these shiny bits of metal have arbitrary value. These creatures think this is amazing. They can give this thing called money to get the other creature to give them almost anything in return. If only acquiring this money wasn't so difficult. The creatures are hoping that this new money thing only brings them good fortune and kindness to the creatures of Tiny Towns. In this expansion, coins are added to the game. To gain them, you will need to construct 2 buildings at the same time on one turn, or newer building cards are mixed into the decks and cause you to gain or use coins in different ways. You will use the coins for in-game points, each coin counting as 1 point each, or you may spend your coin in the general supply to place a different resource than the one that the master builder announced. To set up, you will follow the normal base rules, except you will place the coins on the table into a general supply. Each player will start with a chessboard, which will be placed next to the player's town. The new building cards and fortune cards are shuffled with the others according to their colored backs to match the type of building it belongs with. When cards are randomly chosen to be placed out, follow the base game rules. It's recommended to only have 4 of the fortune buildings at maximum, but you can play the game with more, or even none at all, just collecting coins and storing them in your chest. The primary way to gain a coin is by constructing 2 or more buildings in a single round. When a player constructs 2 or more buildings by removing the resources on their board, that player gains exactly 1 coin, placing it on their chest. Players will most likely choose not to construct a building immediately upon placing the required resource in that correct shape, waiting until a future round where they can construct multiple buildings. Other fortune buildings and monuments can also allow you to gain extra coins as well. You will simply follow the text on those cards. Now you can only store a maximum of 4 coins at once. If a player already has 4 coins and gains another one, too bad, too sad. They cannot gain another coin unless they have a monument card that gives them an extra space to store one. At the end of the game, each coin is worth 1 point, but more importantly, instead of holding your money for points at the end of the game, you can spend a coin to place a different resource in your town than the resource named by the master builder. This also doesn't affect what any other player places, and any number of players can do this per round except for the master builder themselves. I would love to have you experience these new buildings yourself, but let me share a couple of my favorites that give you a good idea on how these cards change the game. Katerina's Grotto, 2 points. When constructed, place 1 coin from the general supply on each of the 4 center squares of your town. Gain each coin once there is a building on its square. Mason's Guild, 3 points. When constructed, you may spend any number of coins. Construct a number of unique buildings equal to the amount you spent. Gambler's Den, 2 points. When constructed, gain 2 coins, if you have exactly 1 coin. Cathedral, 7 points. If not adjacent to another cathedral. When constructed, spend 3 coins. If you don't, remove the cathedral and construct a gray building in that square instead. Tea House, 1 point. When constructed, gain 1 coin for each unique building type in the same row or column, not both, as the tea house. The Statue, when constructed, gain 1 coin for each building type you have 3 or more of in your town. Alright, I probably shared too many, but these building cards, as you can see, can change the way that the game plays. Ultimately, I feel like this expansion does 2 big things to the base game. First, it changes the game to reward players who choose to build when they have less room on their grid and are in a more difficult situation. I'm talking about not constructing just 1 building at a time, but 2. And when doing this, you will have more resources on your board, giving you less flexibility and increasing the chance of placing a resource in the wrong spot, or a spot where you have to change plans on the building you decide to construct. Now the second main thing is being able to gain these coins to use them to collect the resource you actually need or want to use in your tiny town. This changes how you can play the game, because those times that you get in a pinch with not much room to play with, Getting the exact resource you need can cause your plan to unfold and give you the room you need to better execute your plans. The game is all about taking advantage of what's given to you because it's not always going to be what you want. And of course, when there's more money, more problems. The city is transformed from this to this. So make sure you gain some coins to trade for wanted resources and make a fortune in Tiny Town's Fortune by AEG.
Again, this is Board Game Brody. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stick around and check out some other board game reviews to see what you might want to get to the table.